So students, in this lecture, we are going to discuss a drug that is an emergency drug, that is epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline. So when this epinephrine is present in your body as neurotransmitter, or if it is present naturally, then we call it as a neurotransmitter. When it is available commercially in the market, we will call it as a drug. So basically, students, this epinephrine is a catecholamine. Other examples of catecholamine include epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, and dopamine. So among these drugs or these transmitters, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine are the naturally occurring neurotransmitters, while dobutamine is a synthetic compound. So epinephrine is a neurotransmitter and a synthetic compound as well. So students, what does catecholamine? Catecholamines are basically monoamines. These are the structures which contain a catechol ring. This is representing a catechol ring that is basically a benzene with two side hydroxyl groups. Additionally, this catecholamines also include a side chain amine. So this side chain amine together with catechol forms a structure that is a catecholamine. So epinephrine is basically a catecholamine. So we have another organ in our body, that is adrenal medulla. Basically, this adrenal medulla is the main location for the production of norepinephrine and the epinephrine. So this norepinephrine actually contains hydrogen group, while the epinephrine contains the methyl group. So what happens in adrenal medulla? In adrenal medulla, norepinephrine is methylated to form this epinephrine. Now, we have chromaffin cells in this adrenal medulla, which has ability to store epinephrine and norepinephrine. So whenever there is stimulation of adrenal medulla, this adrenal medulla will release 80% epinephrine, that is adrenaline, and 20% norepinephrine. So what are the effects of epinephrine on receptors? This epinephrine is actually non-selective. It has ability to act both on alpha and beta receptors. So at low dose, the beta effects are the vasodilatory effects on the vascular systems, while at high dose, we have alpha effects, we have vasoconstrictive effects. So, coming towards the pharmacological actions of epinephrine, first we will discuss cardiovascular effects. So, this epinephrine has both inotropic and chronotropic effects. Inotropic effect means it has ability to increase the force of contraction, and chronotropic means increase the heart rate. So because of these inotropic and chronotropic effects, this epinephrine will increase the cardiac output. So these are the major actions on the heart. Now, how this is actually increasing the heart rate, how this is increasing the blood pressure. So we know that our kidney contains the receptor, that is beta 1 receptor. So whenever there is activation of this beta 1 receptor, there will be release of the renin from the kidney. So we know that renin is an enzyme which is involved in production of angiotensin 2. Now, how this angiotensin 2, which is a vasoconstrictor, is produced? So whenever there is activation of beta receptors, beta 1 receptors on the kidney, there is production of renin. Now what this renin will do? This renin will further cleave the angiotensinogen. Now what is angiotensinogen? This is a precursor protein that has ability to produce its hypertensive effect. When it will produce the hypertensive effect, so this precursor protein which is produced in the liver is cleaved by the renin. So now this renin will convert this angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. So now we have another enzyme, that is ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme. Now this ACE will convert this angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. I'm calling this as angiotensin converting enzyme because this is converting your angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. So whenever there is production of angiotensin 2, this angiotensin. So students, we were discussing that how this epinephrine will increase in blood pressure. So we have renin on the kidney. Whenever there is activation of beta 1 receptor, there is production of angiotensin there will be a breakdown of angiotensin 2 by running into angiotensin 1. So we have ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme. This angiotensin converting enzyme will convert this angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. Now this angiotensin 2 will bind itself or interact with angiotensin 2 receptors. These are the receptors, angiotensin 2 receptors, which are present in the arteries. So whenever there is binding of angiotensin 2 with the arteries, there will be vasoconstrictive effect. So ultimately we will have hypertensive effect. So this epinephrine is actually producing a mixed effect due to both alpha and beta receptors. Due to alpha 1 activation, this is causing the arteriosconstriction. Due to beta 2 effects, it is causing the dilatory effect. Why the dilatory effect? Because of dilating the vessels which are going towards the liver and the skeletal muscles. So we have also renal flow which is decreased by the epinephrine. So we have mixed effect, that is arteriosconstriction, vessel dilation, and renal blood flow decreased. So decreased renal blood flow with vessel dilation and the arterial constriction, we will have an effect that is increase in the systolic blood pressure and slight decrease in the diastolic pressure. So students, what are the respiratory effects? Respiratory effects of the epinephrine will be due to the beta 2 receptors, due to activation of beta 2 receptors. So whenever there is binding of epinephrine to the receptors on the bronchial smooth muscles, there will be activation of beta 2 receptors. As a result, there will be bronchodilatory effect. Your bronchioles will get relaxed. So additionally, this epinephrine has ability to inhibit the release of mediators, allergy mediators. The example of allergy mediator is histamine. So this epinephrine has ability to inhibit the release of histamine from the mast cell. This is mast cell and we have histamine in it. So this epinephrine has ability to inhibit the release of histamine from this mast cell. Now, what are the hyperglycemic effects? This epinephrine has ability to cause hyperglycemic effect. How? Because it has ability to increase glycogenolysis, that is breakdown of glycogen into glucose. Secondly, it enhances the release of glucagon due to beta 2 effects. Thirdly, it has ability to inhibit the or decrease the release of insulin by the activation of alpha 2 receptors. Now, as we know that our beta 3 receptors are present on the adipose tissue. So how lipolysis affect or produces, so how it inhibits lipolysis or it initiates lipolysis. We know that we have adipose tissue, we have beta 3 receptors on it. So whenever there is activation of these beta receptors, there will be activation of the enzyme that is adenyl cyclase. This will increase the production of cyclic AMP. So now we have increased production of cyclic AMP. This will stimulate the enzyme lipase, which will cause the breakdown of triacylglycerol into free fatty acids and glycerol. So now coming towards the therapeutic uses of epinephrine, we know that epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline, is an emergency drug. Why this is an emergency drug? Because of its therapeutic uses. Now, what are the therapeutic uses of this epinephrine? We can use this epinephrine in bronchospasm. So in emergency treatment of respiratory condition, that is in the case of bronchoconstriction, we can use this drug. This is the drug of choice in the case of anaphylactic shock. We can use this drug in type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So whenever you administer subcutaneous injection, definitely your respiratory functions are improved. So these beta, we know that we have selective drugs in the market as well. We have beta 2 agonist, we have albuterol that has ability to treat the asthma. So this albuterol is preferred because of its bronchodilatory effect. This is used because of its long duration of action. So this is the drug of choice also in case of anaphylactic shock. We can use this drug in case of type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. We have already studied in physiology that these type 1 hypersensitivity reaction are basically immunoglobulin E-mediated reactions. So, students, then we have cardiac arrest conditions. So, students, we can use this drug in case of cardiac arrest. How we can use this cardiac arrest? because of its vasoconstrictive effects. So we can use this drug with anesthetics as well. We can give the IV injection of local anesthetics with epinephrine. Why we are using this epinephrine? Because of its vasoconstrictive effects. So this epinephrine will basically increase the duration or availability of the local anesthetic at the particular site of injection. We can also use this epinephrine topically. Because of its vasoconstrictive effect, we can use this to control the oozing of capillary blood vessels. Now, what are the pharmacokinetics? We have rapid onset of action of epinephrine. We have brief duration of action because of metabolism. We can give it intramuscular injection. We can use it intravenously. We can give it subcutaneously. So we can give it by endotracheal tube. We can give it by inhalation. So we don't prefer to give this epinephrine orally because of degradation by the intestinal enzyme. We can, our system, our body can degrade this or metabolize this by monoamine oxidases, MAO, catechol-O-amine transferase, methyl transferase. We have metabolites metanephrine and the vinyl mandelic acid, So these are the metabolites which are produced by MAO and COMT. So these metabolites are then excreted in the urine. So what are the adverse effects? We have CNS related adverse effects, anxiety, fear, tension, headache and tremor. We have cardiac arrhythmia. If your patient is already taking digoxin, we know that digoxin causes arrhythmia. So in this case, your epinephrine will exaggerate this arrhythmic effects. So this epinephrine may also cause pulmonary edema, that is retention or the excessive fluid in the lungs. Then this epinephrine can definitely increase the blood pressure. If your patient is suffering from hyperthyroidism, then we know that hyperthyroidism is associated with high blood pressure. There is increased production of adrenergic receptor in case of hyperthyroidism. So in this case, the patient is already suffering from high blood pressure. If you are giving epinephrine, this epinephrine will further exaggerate this blood pressure. So this, if we are taking inhalation anesthetics, these inhalation anesthetics will has ability to sensitize your heart to the effects of epinephrine. So in this case, your epinephrine will lead your patient towards tachycardia. So this epinephrine has ability to increase the glucose level. So in the case of diabetic patient, you have to adjust the dose of the insulin. You have to increase the dose of insulin. So students, this was all about the pharmacokinetic and clinical uses of epinephrine.